All right, welcome back, everybody. We're about a minute here before the monthly candle close, weekly candle close here, and we can see Tether is pushing into the close. We're butting up against this major trend line right here. Bitcoin is struggling, making lower highs here. We made this push up to about 92.5 earlier last week, Friday, and you can see that we've now made a lower high. We're coming into the 4-hour major moving average right here. And, well, this monthly candle close for Tether is a monthly bullish engulfing candle. And the question is are we going to see continuation on this? Usually after you get a monthly bullish engulfing candle, it's likely that we see some continuation on it. So the weekly candle is the only maybe thing that could maybe provide us with a bit of continued relief potentially. Like we could see some sideways here for Tether here next couple weeks, maybe into the end of the month possibly. But I think ultimately what happens is this ends up breaking higher later on. With our monthly average sentiment oscillator crossing bullish here, this is going to most likely catalyze further downside in the markets here later on. So yeah, I think our only real saving grace would be that weekly, if this actually materializes to the downside here over the next couple weeks. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything that's too bullish on these markets right now. The only thing is, just like I said, the weekly here is extended. It's overbought on the weekly chart. These highs up here, this high up here was the FTX collapse, and this is us tagging the $80,000 level and getting roughly a 15% bounce off that low. And yeah, so unfortunately, it's a bullish monthly candle close for Tether, and we just crossed up here. So yeah, there's we're at bullish on the RSI, and then monthly 57 is the bullish control zone there for Tether. And if we see this continuation over the course of the next couple of weeks, then we're going to probably see lower prices across the board, crypto wise. We'll take a look at the stock market too, as I think that also looks a bit dicey too. The monthly candle kind of closing like a hangman candle on the S&P. So, I mean, this isn't as, this could be a reversal too if this gets ushered in here, but no real jeopardy of uptrend being lost just yet on the S&P. But you can see the monthly stochastics starting to roll over here. All right. Hasn't confirmed across just yet, but doesn't look the best. You got the monthly here giving you the early warning sign in September. And momentum is starting to maybe also roll over here on the monthly. Nothing is confirmed. We don't have a MACD cross or anything just like that, but we do have, you can clearly see we have monthly bearish divergence. So you're asking about the QE. I don't think there's going to be deploying of QE anytime soon. I mean, they're ending QT. That doesn't mean they're just automatically starting QE. All right. And so Yep, there's your monthly close, monthly short signal printed here on the STP signals. And we could be coming back down to tag bottom of the range here pretty soon, especially if the selling continues, which looks like it's going to continue. I mean, doesn't. Okay, yeah, I mean, we're oversold on our stochastics here on the weekly. We maybe started to get across up here too, but we didn't actually confirm any sort of buy signal on the weekly, and the 2 week here is still heading down, 3 week heading down, monthly all heading down. So a lot of stuff just pointing down, and the tether chart just looks bullish, man, and that's where we're at. And here we are. We're getting now continuation on this to start the week, and that's just how it's probably going to continue here for the next months until this changes trend, until tether changes trend or shows weakness. I'm of the opinion that this is just going to continue. We didn't really see that much relief, unfortunately. I thought we were going to maybe see a tag of like the major moving averages up here, maybe up to this like 103 region, but it doesn't look like we have enough buying pressure to really accomplish that right this moment. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, the only thing that could maybe give us some relief is if that weekly on tether rolls over, but ultimately that high time frame isn't really suggesting anything good. It's suggesting a lot further down, right? So if this actually breaks out, this is a descending broadening formation, and we'd probably be looking at tether going to the top of the range here at some point. And this could take some months to do that. And then, once we kind of top out on tether, I think that's when we'll put a bottom in. So we'll just kind of continue to monitor that. But the monthly crossing up here on the TSI is the dead giveaway that we're going to probably continue to see lower prices. And the bubble risk indicator here you can see is starting to get elevated, but it's nowhere near elevation levels of previous bear markets. So this can go all the way into the bubble risk territory before we have actual capitulation, stuff like that. And this is the scary thing, is that the 2 month stochastics are down here. And so this is suggesting a lot more upside here for tether. All right. Next, 3 to 6 months or whatever. MACD cross up here, 2 month MACD cross. Yeah, it just looks like it's going to get kind of bloody. So brace yourself. Sorry, I don't have any good news. I thought we were going to maybe see a little bit more relief, maybe up to like close to this $97,000, $98,000 region. We'll see. Right now it doesn't look like we're going to get any of that. It's the quarterly chart that really is the chart that doesn't look good at all. We have some fair value gaps down here on 74K. And then like the monthly is kind of what we want to really be looking at. This $37,000 region, I think, is probably a sweet spot area, because the monthly 200 week moving average is actually right around 56K. But when I look at if I throw on the Gaussian channel here, we usually kind of put lows in like right around this median area here, which is around 40K. Yeah, the monthly is a red candle. Yes, the monthly closed a red candle. We had a bit of a wick here, but no real follow through on it. And we're just opening the new monthly candle down, so you know it's never really a good thing to see. And the weekly is okay. So this is really the kicker here for us to really kind of hold where we're at. We need to continue to make closures above 84,000 on the weekly, which is the 100-week moving average. And historically, every single time we lose the 100-week period moving average is when we really get these capitulation events. And so that would we'll probably get a big bounce in the $70,000 region. I would say it's not just gonna blow right through that. But you know, anything's possible, of course, with this momentum slated to the downside like there. Why are we under 89K? Well, look at Tether. Tether's pushing pretty hard right now. And that's pretty much the reason. Well, I mean, I think we're fine as long as, like I said, as long as we hold the 100-week moving average here. We're probably doing something similar to what we did back here, where I think we ultimately will see this move, whether it happens this week, next week, or 2 weeks, whatever. I don't think we're just going to go straight down. I don't see that. But anything's possible, of course. We did trigger the TTM squeezes here on the weekly, which, you know, when you start triggering those like you did back here, even with the stochastic RSI down here, the difference, I will say the difference is that the RSI is already, you know, in the 35 zone on the weekly chart. So we're already kind of, you know, oversold in that regard. Which is why I thought it would make some sense that we would get a bit of a relief rally from these lows, but you know, I don't dictate what this market does, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll look at ETH BTC. So the ETH BTC chart right now, we did get a weekly TSI cross, but those are kind of late, I would say. We're starting to flash, you know, buy signals on the ETH Bitcoin chart on the weekly. We're sitting neutral on the RSI right now. The monthly is sitting neutral also on the RSI. And we did get this monthly TSI cross, but that was obviously, it's a late signal. You know, this could maybe bleed out a little bit more, obviously. Maybe sometime into, like, you know, March or something. I don't know how long this is going to take to do whatever it's doing, but to me, against the dollars here, nothing really looks good if Tether is going to be this kind of bullish like this. This is yeah. Well, there you go. Tether's pushing. So it's overbought on the hourly right now. So we'll see what kind of real push that Tether makes. It hasn't taken out the swing high, but you know, the weekly is still long. The 2 week is still long, and the 3 week closes in 7 days. Now it's going to print along if it closes like this, and that's it. Yeah, we can look at ICP. Yeah, nothing really good to talk about here. You had a short squeeze move up to about $10. And it looks like you're just gonna head on back down to these range lows. Looks pretty bad. No real edge on this chart. Looks like it's just going to continue bleeding out. Look at the dollar index real quick. So the dollar index kind of getting rejection up here at the 100.2, which has been, providing some relief to. Yeah, it has been providing a bit of relief to the S&P and the Nasdaq and stuff like that. And gold obviously is still pushing here. Gold looks like it wants higher. We'll see if this actually ends up breaking 42.30s or 40s there, and then we'd be targeting, close to 4,400 on gold. So that's pretty much the story right now. Gold to 15K. Silver would probably be more than $100 if gold's going to 15K. Just saying. Silver is most likely going to $100. Yes. Next, few months. Cool. So that's it. Yeah. So that weekly RSI is still elevated. We've had levels of elevation on the weekly in previous bear markets, but it usually doesn't stay up there for so long before coming down. So we'll see how momentous this push is here for Tether. Obviously it looks pretty strong right now. So, and the problem is that monthly chart, right? That's the problem. Is that this is flip bullish here on the monthly close. Anyways, anything else you guys want to look at? I don't think the sentiment really matters, man. It's more so about what the price action is. Yeah, we're in extreme fear. Yes. And the VIX got rejected on Friday last month. But it's just right back down to the bottom of the range again. Well, this can easily start spiking again tomorrow if markets start selling off. So but yeah, this looks kind of bearish right now, that's for sure. It's still holding its super trend though. Yeah, historically, I think, buying when the market's in fear is usually not a bad long-term strategy. Yeah, for sure. There's plenty of assets that, well, I mean, the problem is the high time frames on something like Bitcoin right now, right? So it's just all these high time frame short signals that are all kind of aligned at the same time. That is, worrisome, and so you start, breaking critical supports and levels like this, then that stuff starts to materialize on the high time frame. Here's the cycle repaint chart that's calling for this drop right now to 62K by Christmas. So you actually probably get your relief rally in January to March. This is what that's suggesting. So next month. All right. I wouldn't solely base your decision based off the cycle chart for a price, but historically, I would say, yeah, I think anywhere like right around this median monthly Gaussian is probably not a bad place, like right around that $40,000 region. I mean, you might get slight deviation here. Yeah, it's probably between 30 and 40K is probably fine. So yeah, we'll see how this plays out over the course of the next few months. But that would be kind of in line with like a a 70% drawdown to like the $38,000 level. Yeah, I guess that's less than before. It should be less than before almost every cycle. So that's about right. Probably like right around that $40,000 level, I think is likely. I don't think it's gonna go to 30K. I don't think it's gonna do that. I think it's too far down. But I mean, I guess it just really depends on what the indices are doing and what the liquidity is like in these markets. So, but if we look at like the stablecoin market caps, they're just continuing to mint stables. So that is what is going to kind of backstop where these markets actually bottom out, I think. So, but yeah, we just kind of want to continue to pay attention to when Tether actually tops out. So that's it. I mean, I will say the weekly is in overbought territory, but it's the high time frame, like the monthly, that is going to continue to push this, and it can remain overbought and extended for some time before it actually gives some relief. And once we start actually taking out this the supply zone here at 6.8%, I think that's when we're going to get that big drop. And we'll see how that plays out. I don't know if it's going to like really go all the way up here, but it could eventually get there. That would take us to about that $40,000 level. If Tether doubled up from here, it's a 50% drop for Bitcoin. So yeah, maybe it does get there. We shall see. But if you just kind of DCA'd at all these major resistance levels, I think that's probably not a bad strategy too. But I would shoot for like the 100-week moving average, like starting to buy in the the 40s and 50s on Bitcoin. It's probably fine long term. Or every single time it's oversold on a weekly chart would be probably okay to do. So yeah, it's not oversold just yet on the weekly. But yeah, once you start getting into these levels, you could start buying Bitcoin again. I feel like. But we're not there just yet. All right. Anything else you guys want to look at? Yeah, pretty quiet in the chat here tonight. Oh yeah, we could. Not really too much to look at here, but yeah, I mean, we're gonna see continued downside, then I would target bottom sides of ranges and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I've got nothing good to say. I mean, the price action is the price action, right? Sure. So, yep, absolutely. Yeah, so if this breaks, then I think this is going back to here. Sure. I mean, you have assets like I will say, like something like INJ, for example. I mean, this thing is already oversold on the weekly chart. I would say that if you believe in something like this, this is already in the zone to maybe start long term, maybe building a position in. I mean, yeah, obviously this can come way down too. But this, in my opinion, this asset was an outperformer this cycle. So, I mean, that's not to say that it's going to outperform next cycle or anything like that, but yeah, just keep your eye on this, I guess. I think this is a good one. It started maybe come back down to this range low on the next capitulation event or something. You could maybe snag a position down there or something. So, yeah, I'm monitoring this one too. So, and your chain link, long term, this is probably not going anywhere. It's definitely one of the blue chips in the space. So this is something I'd be watching for. Maybe putting a base down there later on, back to $5-6. Could be lower, but I would assume that it's going back to its range low. It could always make new lows, but I don't know that for sure. Yeah, I mean, figure alts rally against BTC in January. Yeah, I mean, alts are probably going to outperform Bitcoin's, retracement move based off the total 3, excluding, the Bitcoin chart here is the ratio chart you could see is starting to tick up. So yeah, I mean, I think those might be worth counter trend trading on a relief rally or something. Maybe not right now. Doesn't look very good right now. But yeah. So that's kind of it. So remaining above the 100-week moving average is going to help the price stay higher, I should say, within the bounds of the 100-week and the 50-week. So between 82 and 100K is kind of the range right now, until we start making closures below the 100-week moving average, which is right around 84,000. So as soon as we start taking that out, that's when we're going to get the kind of capitulation event that we have seen in the past. All right, this type of move. This was the COVID move, but it'll be similar to that when it happens. And we'll probably bounce right off of 70, 60K here, and kind of make this bounce and then make it a lower high and then break it, and then we'll go to the 200-week moving average, and we'll probably flirt around there for a while before we start putting a low in or bottom in on the $40,000, $50,000 region. But we'll see how this goes. I was a little bit surprised that we aren't going to get a retest of the major moving averages like we did back here. So something similar to that, where we go up to the 50-week moving average, and that's right around $100,000 right now. So I was actually, I am kind of shocked to see that. Maybe we're just going to continue this breakdown right now, but the tether chart is suggesting downside. But we could end up just maybe holding here for a bit and then get this like pop up to 100, get rejected, and then we actually break. So we'll see how this plays out. I don't know how it's exactly going to play out, but if they just decide to plunge the market, that actually will probably end the bear market a lot quicker than that way, right? Yep. Well, the most important thing was the fair value gap that's here on the weekly that we back tested on Tether. So, and then this doji candle on the 3-day, right? So that's why this is seeing follow through like that. And then you have the high time frame, like the monthly, right? So, but yeah, what is interesting though is we got this 3-day clipping here. So I don't know that it's just going to just bust this right away. We could see a little bit of sideways first before it maybe just candles down. We'll see. If the indices are going to roll over, then Bitcoin's not going to really stand a chance against that. So, and yeah, it looks like the S&P's down 0.3% right now. NASDAQ also down similar. So, yep. Yeah. I do think that next cycle that we could have kind of an ETH run first. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if they are going to ease, there's going to be a lot of capital on the sidelines, and the ETH Bitcoin ratio right now is in my opinion still very cheap here. So even if like this downslope and consolidates here for whatever the next few months, as long as it doesn't take out this low, I think what could end up happening, though, is money rotates into ETH first, and then ETH Bitcoin makes this move, and then they rotate back to Bitcoin, and then they send Bitcoin. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But the way that this chart looks like on the quarterly time frame, if you're just looking at ratios, I'm not looking at dollar values. I'm just looking at ratios. The quarterly down here is almost giving you a buy signal, right? So that means maybe within the next 6 months or so, we could start to see some action happening on the ETH side of things. And yeah, I think next cycle ETH is should do pretty well. This cycle was a very muted cycle for altcoins mostly. But yeah, I think ETH is going to do well here longer term. And the short term here, looks like it can go back to like 2,500 here, and then maybe back to this fair value gap, like $2,000 or something. I don't think it's really going to break this range low. I mean, it could. I don't know where ETH is going to end up here at the bottom, but it may actually just come down to the range low. Yeah. It might just come back down to $1,000 and just stay within its range. And the reason being is because the ETH Bitcoin ratio chart is very cheap. So I don't think it's going to be as dramatic as a 91% drawdown, and this is an 80% drawdown. It might be similar to that. And it might be something similar to that. Just like a retest of the range low. I guess it just depends on the velocity at which these declines are happening. So we'll see. All right. And just keep monitoring the tether chart here, and you see this this structure here. All right, is a 46% range break, 46% move. So that pretty much takes you to the top of the range, or close to it. All right, so I would suspect that it's probably going there. So what is the scapegoat? It's the DATs, right? So, but what's going to cause the bottom, though? I mean, like the Fed's obviously going to step in, right? Yeah, sure. Of course. Yeah, so they're going to have to, yeah, they're going to let this stuff capitulate, and then they're just going to come in and buy everything up. Right. Right. And so what? You think the dollar is gonna rally from here? Looks like so far it's getting rejected here. Yeah, and so far the weekly has been getting rejected. And even if you look at like the 3-week chart, it's back testing this region as resistance right now. Yeah, I mean, I guess as soon as they maybe they cut rates again in December, that actually that was putting in these lows when they were cutting rates here in September. And I'd still say the dollar looks kind of weak here until it really starts reclaiming, 102s, 103s. Looks like gold can continue its move, right? If the dollar's weak and the market's becoming risk off. Yeah, so like if you think the dollar is going to rally, then your gold should come off too, by the way. Japanese yen, USD. Looks like trash. It's just like it's in a major downtrend here for quite some time. You think this whole thing is just going to rip? You think the yen is going to outperform the dollar? Is that what you're saying? I think the opposite's true. If you think the dollar is going to go up, then the yen's going to do this. It's a very bearish looking chart. So what is it that you like to look at on the JPY USD chart? So, but wouldn't you want to be looking at the rates then, not the dollar pair? I don't even know what the Japanese rates are, but you'd want to look at that. So this has been ripping basically since 2021. Not quite. But this has been continuing to go up. So this is nothing new. And yeah, so what do you think the 10-year bond yield is going to go to 3% or something? 4%? Why was that the line in the sand? Wouldn't the line in the sand be the top of the range?
Well, for you, for me.
Yeah, well, that's why the U.S. needs to lower its rates. Like the U.S. pretty much needs to go back to zero rates to counter that carry trade, so that it isn't going to be as drastic and dramatic on the unwind. But all those people that are borrowing are going to have to unwind all their trades for sure. But so they're probably going to print a lot of money and deal with that. So that means that our rates need to come way down. If Japan is going to continue raising rates. I don't know about 6K, but maybe 5K. Yep, broke rising wedge. Yep. Silver was, in my opinion, a much better technical pattern. Right, like a massive cup and handle. These usually perform better than rising wedge breaks, but it's silver though, whatever. But it should be about a 200% move from this break. This little handle here. So, but it's probably not gonna do the whole move. It'll probably get to like $100 or something. Yeah. Something like that. Cool. All right. Platinum is also a very nice structure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did. And I also gave a short up here on it, and I said maybe like I don't know, I forget the targets I gave, but it basically just bounced right off this low. And this is a very strong asset. I don't know why it's being propped up so much, but it's pretty strong. Even that close on the weekly was strong for it. Interesting, but yeah. Not too many assets that are performing in the crypto land right now. This is one of them, though. Yeah, everything is pretty crappy. Looks like Ondo is going back to like 20 cents. Pretty miserable stuff. Solana. Yep. So here's your projection on Solana. I think like the first high volume area, once we really start taking out the 200 week moving average here at $100, it's like well, this rising wedge didn't even fully play out, but I would think that it's probably going to do something like this to like $30-$40 or something like that. Yeah, I think it'll be a much bigger drawdown than like Ethereum or something. This is a 90% drawdown. Like if it does another 90% drawdown, then yeah, you're looking at like $30 on Sol. Something like that. All right. XRP. I would probably look for, if you like XRP, I would probably look for somewhere along this trend line, maybe like 70 cents or something for XRP. This trend line seems like it's been holding this assets uptrend for quite some time. So I'm not saying that it's going to hold, but like that's a pretty significant drawdown there for XRP 80%. This drawdown was much more significant, but this was like blow off top stuff up here. I mean, I wouldn't say that this was like a blow off move on XRP. This looks like it just retested its high and got rejected. So I think like, yeah, somewhere along this trend line. But if this trend line breaks, then you can target lower parts of the ranges. But that would be really bad if it broke that. And we can look at BNB. Yeah, so BNB. So BNB, I think. Yeah, that's a tough one because this one doesn't really. Even on the bear market here, it didn't really. What did it really do? It dropped 60 something %. So, yeah, I would think that this trend line probably holds for BNB. Yeah, like right around $500 or something, unless something really drastic happens to BNB. But yeah, I'd be looking around that region, and if that breaks, then maybe lower parts of the range. Yeah. Well, ETH BNB. Yeah, obviously BNB was an outperformer against ETH. So yeah, you can see that BNB crushed ETH. Looks like garbage against it. Anyways, all right. Oh, there's like 12 people on the stream. You guys all just showed up now, huh? It's funny. Well, all right, folks. Guess we're about to find out if Tether is just going to blow through 6.6%. That'll be Bitcoin back at $80,000 levels. Yeah, you can set an alert up there. Yeah, I mean, you can see that this RSI is overbought on the 3-day chart. The weekly's it tagged overbought, but it looks like it's just kind of coiling to go higher, right? So, all right, we'll catch you guys next week. Hopefully everyone had a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll catch you guys next week. Hey everyone, you've landed on the Swing Trade Pros website here. My name is Mr. Know-It-All. I've been an active swing trader for over 7 years. I want to welcome you guys all to the community here. My goal is to change 1 million people's lives with swing trading and trading profitably. This is a skill set you can learn here with the service. Go check out the testimonials in Discord. You can see lots of folks talking about the service and how the trade calls are super, super profitable.
You can check Profit Gains channel. I think we've amassed around $150,000 worth of profits in the last year posted in the Profits Gains channel just from other users and traders in the community. I'd like all of you guys to check out the 14-day free trial. A coupon code will be pinned in the comment section below this video, so check it out. And we'll take you through 14-day free trial process here. You come down to the website, save 44%, and claim your 14-day free trial. Click on that, and that will take you to the Swing Trade Pros website where you can click sign up now. And after your 14-day free trial is up, on the 15th day you will get billed, full disclosure of that. And I appreciate you guys all joining the community. It will change your lives. Give it a chance. A lot of these swing trades can take months. One of our biggest trades of the year last year was INJ. We took an entry at $1.60, and well, that asset's trading over $35 today. So that was one of the banger trades that I pointed out. My strongest pattern that I trade that I'm known for is the falling wedge. I call it the falling node wedge pattern. Lots of divergence on these charts, and that's what makes these patterns really play out. And you guys are going to be able to really learn that in the service, and I really hope you enjoy it. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys on the charts.